Remember when 2024, all the agents were panicking over the buyer's agent disappearing and the buyer commission lawsuits? Panic set in. People were talking about having to become a listing agent overnight, which, as we know, is difficult in this industry. People were concerned that buyers would not have representation. And then, all of a sudden, everything changed. With the raising of interest rates and the interest rates not dropping, this was the actual phenomenon that we should be worried about, not the buyer's agent disappearing, because the buyer's agent is needed more now than ever, as you as an agent at least need to understand, if not leverage, if you're not already. So let's dive in. What's up, guys? I'm Jeremy Kane with the Real Estate Agent Playbook and the Wolfpack at EXP. Super excited to dive into this one. I drop content to help you win every single day at the game of real estate on this channel two times a week. So if you need any of that, do your thing, like, comment, subscribe. But I do help agents just like you discover their business, make it fun again, grow organically without having all the costs of paid leads and all of the things. So if you want any of that, book a call below. But let's get into this. So when the commission lawsuits were coming down and brokerages were jockeying for position and how they were going to handle the new regulations handed down by the National Association of Realtors, everyone was in a panic. It was loud, it was heavy. People were concerned about their, possibility of not even being able to make money in this industry. And ultimately, that was a bump in the road compared to the extended time frame of higher interest rates and interest rates not lowering after the election and all the things that we thought were on the horizon. The market had other ideas, and this is something that truly put the buyer's agent commission thing kind of on the back burner, because buyer's agents are needed so much in this current market. Yes, interest rates are high. However, as we know in the industry, sellers are having a little bit more trouble moving properties. So they're offering concessions and, buydowns and all the things that come into play, giving the buyer's opportunity, but also a laundry list of options that, if they're not explained correctly, could end poorly for them. So what's that mean? It's opportunity for you, yes, as a buyer's agent, to swoop in and provide that value and help work through an already confusing process, adding in, rate buydowns and concessions and temporary buydowns and 3-2-1s and all the things to bring a little bit of calm. Because as an advisor, for somebody who's making probably the biggest purchase of their life to date, that is absolutely a superpower that you have, that you can easily bring forth to your buyer clients, making your commission reasonable and understood. And oh, by the way, the sellers are needing to pay that commission more and more now than ever, because it's becoming harder to sell homes. Yes, when homes were flying off the shelves, the buyer agent had a completely different role and was still needed in that time. However, in this time, they are needed by the sellers, who is still more than willing on most of the transactions, while 100% negotiable, paying that buyer's agent a significant commission, similar to what we have been used to in the industry. So yes, there was a time where the buyers thought they had it all figured out, and that kind of is a cycle that we're going to see. The market, although, we feel like it changes so much daily, the truth is it's a longer period of time. Information just travels a lot quicker. And honestly, an 1/8 of a point reduction or increase in interest rate isn't the end of the world, and can be easily changed with the credits and the moving around of cash to close and things like that. So it's not that big of a deal. But the market does ebb and flow as we go, right? A lot can change in 2 to 3 years, but the truth is that the buyer and seller mindsets are really, slower to change. They always say sellers are the last to know that the market has changed, and that breeds true, but also is very important to understand. If the sellers are the last to know, they're the ones making the decisions on these offers and, price reductions and all the things. And so that's an important piece of the puzzle. As we get into a market in 2 to 3 years, yes, buyers do become more comfortable. For instance, in 2020, right, appraisal gaps and inspection waivers and all the things were incredibly common. By 2022, people were coming to me saying, yeah, we have some money for an appraisal gap. Will you help us understand what that means? What does an inspection waiver truly mean in your market? Because I was never of the opinion that we should waive the inspection, maybe the right to object to certain things and understand that, but have the inspection for the education. So we talked through that. And the truth is, though, those buyers were coming to me with that information. So they had figured out the market flow. They'd heard these key terms due to amazing social media content by my amazing colleagues in the real estate industry. And sometimes they knew exactly what it meant, and sometimes they didn't, but we'll leave that aside. But as we go here, you can see that 2 to 3 years, the buyers kind of get adjusted. They're understanding what's going on in the market. They have some key terms, some language, some so on. But there's never that time where they are the expert unless they've been through the process several times. And so it's very easy by year 2 or 3, when the market is predictable and nothing has changed, for buyers to feel more confident. However, that's probably the time where they are most dangerous to themselves and their investment, is understanding, just going in full force. Well, we have to have an appraisal gap. We have to offer over. We have to do all these things, and not knowing that there are other ways to do this besides just what you're seeing on the headlines and all of that. So flip that around. As we move through this higher elevating inventory market, it's a new piece, right? It's understanding that, okay, higher interest rates have been here for a while. We, had the 3-2-1, phase where everyone was doing temporary buydowns, date the rate, blah, 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 that crap, right? However, now we're finding out that date the rate, marry the home, it was more like, well, you might be dating for an extended amount of time, and you're already married to the home, and you're married to that higher interest rate now because it's been 2 or 3 years. And so that's a super important piece to understand, is that the buyer's agent has the piece, they have the pulse on the market, or they should. As you, as a buyer's agent, need to understand that's where your value comes in, understanding that piece, taking these buzzwords and these headlines and making them realistic, and having the buyer truly educated on what they're getting into. Because the last call you want to receive as a buyer's agent is, hey, Jeremy, I thought this was going to happen and it didn't, and you told me it would. Right? And that's not what you need to do. So you need to have that education conversation with your clients, therefore providing your value. Because if the market does change, sellers are going to be able to pull back on what they're offering for commissions and what they're paying for commissions. Right now, when they're getting 1 or 2 offers, that's where those commissions might be a little less variable, right? And a little more driven by the buyer, who, would be responsible for those commissions, but they're saying, hey, if I'm going to buy this house, you're going to pay this amount to my buyer's agent. It's all negotiated in the contract. It's all, relative as we go in this current market. The sellers are still paying. So the truth is, the buyers need you, but so do the sellers in this time where it's not just throw it on, throw some paint at the wall, put it up on the market, and it goes for multiple offers. And so that's huge, right? So now buyers are now the hottest commodity. For the first time in my 12-year career, people are, putting away the buyers are liars and, list to last kind of idea. And buyers have the opportunity. Buyers are turning quicker than even the listings, right? So that's huge because they have options, they have opportunities. And with the right buyer's agent, they're educated in understanding that this is a massive opportunity, that the market has shifted, and they're going in and they're taking full advantage of this, getting into home ownership. While affordability on, the front end seems a little bit high, when you have seller concessions and you have the ability to lower interest rates and get that rate that makes sense, you have the opportunity. So the truth is, and if we pull back from all of this, you as an agent on both sides of the transaction get paid to solve problems. So it's about identifying what the pain points are, what the problems are for your clients, both buyer and seller, and understanding what the market's answer is to that. How do we handle that in our industry? Well, as a listing agent, if we are putting the home out on the MLS and all the things, it's likely that the contract is going to come in with a, seller paid buyer agent commission, right? If you want to maximize the opportunity and maximize the visibility and the value, you need to understand that expect to pay somewhere between, whatever the market rate is at that time. The good news is for you is we can look at the bottom line at that point, pre-inspection obviously, and say, okay, this is what your take home is going to be if we, pay that whatever percent commission is in the contract. And as we go, you're just solving problems, right? Because if that end number is higher than, their bottom line, then you're good to go. They don't care where the money goes. They understand that, that's how the industry works. They understand that buyer's agent is actually an asset to them if appropriately introduced, right? As somebody who's going to coach their clients on, how to negotiate in inspections and how to walk through a house and make an offer that, is based on what you see cosmetically, what you know about the property, and not waiting on the inspection to, beat the seller up again. That is a huge value add for a buyer's agent, somebody that comes in when they're not asking you to replace light bulbs and replace a furnace because it's 10 years old instead of having it cleaned or serviced. And those eliminate the hiccups in the process. So if you don't remember one thing from this video, remember that you get paid to solve problems and you need to figure out what those problems are. Even if it's a ChatGPT search, figure out what those problems are ahead of when your clients bring them to you. Because if you have result-based answers for them to solve those problems, that's when you become the superhero agent that everyone is going to refer and send more business to. So if you're interested in talking more about this, a realtor game plan call below. I would be happy to dial in a strategy to help you win both on the listing side and the buyer side, because truth is, the reason I love this industry is helping people solve problems. And if I can help you as an agent solve some problems for your clients, that's more impact that I'm able to have on more people. And that's what I do this for. So we'll see you next time. Like, comment, subscribe, and go get another win today. Bye-bye.